Some of life's greatest moments and lessons come from pain and serendipity. We are reminded that without help, we have nothing. The coronavirus pandemic has affected all of us in one way or another. It has been a turbulent time for those working in education, in particular. Despite the ongoing health crisis situation in the country, the division of Tangub City, through the Department of Education, has decided to push through with the resumption of classes to ensure that learning will continue using various alternative delivery modalities. For more than a year now, Department of Education's efforts against COVID-19 pandemic are producing promising results in defeating the unseen threat. We at Banglay National High School find ways for education to continue amidst the crisis. In a last-ditch effort to deliver the self-learning materials to our 361 learners, our teachers find and do all means to reach out our students in order to achieve continuous learning delivery. It is our ultimate goal to facilitate safe learning, and we are highly indebted to our partners and leaders who are with us in ensuring the safety of our learners, teachers, and parents in these difficult times. This outpouring of support only inspires us more to be prepared on the challenges of this extraordinary school year. Often, it is said that it takes a village to raise a child, but together we have proven that it will take an entire nation to raise our children during this pandemic. We are in this together. We all have worked together with the power of love and community. Our love is stronger than COVID-19 virus. To all our stakeholders, health workers, teachers, parents, school personnel, and other partners, you are helping Banglay National High School learners to reach its dreams and reach another milestone despite all the struggles. Congratulations, senior high school graduates and completers for batch school year 2020-2021.
Isang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang magiliw, pwede sa silanganan, alak ng puso, sa libre mo'y buhay. Lupang tinirang, tuyad ka ng magiti, sa panlulupi, di ka masisili, sa lagat at puno sa simula, sa langit mo mga, may dilakang pula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig, ang bituing nagkaroon niya'y kailan pamali magdidinig. Lupa ng araw ng walang ibang sipa, ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pagpay ng ating namatay ng dahil sa'yo. Gikan sa Luzon, sa Visayas, ug ngadto sa Mindanao, O Jesucristo, sa Pilipinas maghahari ka. Sa kasing-kasing, O Jesucristo, maghahari ka. Ikaw na kami, O panalipin, patong sa of Banglay, along its tiny southern quay, wafted by the winds, adventure and fortune, guided by God and destiny, came the size of Lapu-Lapu and Dagohoy, and to the land their hands employed, with hearts and mind attuned, calling Tanggug the land they enjoy. From the marshes of Banglay, along its tiny southern quay, wafted by the winds, adventure and fortune, guided by God and destiny, came the size of Lapu-Lapu and Dagohoy, and to the land their hands employed, with hearts and mind attuned, calling Tanggug the land they enjoy. Tanggug blossom as rose by the bay, while Malindang watch with welcome glee the growth and progress on display. Tanggug a dream, Tanggug a town, Tanggug a city forever renowned, with their loyal sons endeavor it to be, with generation to behold and see, a mystic city by the side of Banglay. From the marshes of Banglay, along its tiny southern quay, wafted by the winds, adventure and fortune, guided by God and destiny, in the size of Lapu-Lapu and Dagohoy, and to the land their hands employed, with hearts and mind attuned, calling Tanggug the land they enjoy, calling Tanggug the land they enjoy. Diyos sa miyang Mindanao mabuhay, imahal ang iyong natawan, mauswagon masigla kung malipayon, pagpala sa katahon. Magkapiling taning kasing-kasing, ang kabanaan o kamalipayon, di sa kanunay ang magpaibabaw, ang kahusay o kanina. Mabuhay ang iyong Mindanao, Mindanao ang natawan, bisag-usap ang kaliwa, kami na minahalan. Sa buhat ang katuyuan, simbolo sa kagawasan, magkabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan. Mabuhay ang iyong Mindanao, Mindanao ang natawan, bisag-usap ang kaliwa, kami na minahalay. Sa buhat at katuyuan, simbolo sa kagawasan, magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan. Magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan.
To deliver her welcome address, Unity A. Nasis, with high honors.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Agustinus ECP, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Lorena Serrano, City officials, led by Mayor Jennifer Witan, to the Father of Misamis Occidental, Governor Philip Titan, members of Barangay Council, led by Honorable Miguelito Lungay, to our beloved mentors in Banglay National High School, spearheaded by Mrs. Beverly F. Ragas, proud parents, fellow completers, friends, a pleasant afternoon to all. This afternoon's occasion is a testament that hard work breeds success. Today, we are celebrating the completion ceremony for Grade 10 completers, Batch 2020-2021 with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. This school year is not usual to us learners. It's a very challenging year because of the pandemic. No teachers in front of us teaching the lessons, but instead, listening a recorded audio for the lessons discussion in the radio, while facing the self-learning materials and answering the activities. Face-to-face class is hard, but radio-based instruction learning modality is harder. This school year may be tough, but still the best. Why? Because of the experience we had, made us more responsible and prioritize our studies. We had extended more efforts for us to learn the topics and presented in our self-learning materials. Self-discipline and self-confidence were developed in this trying time. My co-completers, we have dreamed and still dreaming of living in a progressive and innovative society. Let us not be afraid of what awaits us. Let us always be optimistic about the future. Don't be afraid of something. Don't be afraid if fears conquer the confidence inside you. Trust and show the best in you. Remember, we are all human, and from time to time, man makes a difference. Embrace change as a normal trend of existence. In behalf of the Batch 2021 of Banglay National High School, with much elation, I would like to welcome you all to this memorable affair, which is the beginning of our time, to step up on a higher level of development. The time to show what is the best in us, the start of creating an innovative and progressive country out from the skills and talents that we possess. Together, let us savor, share the happiness and excitement of being triumphant. With the fervent hopes, I wish everyone a continued success. Once again, good afternoon.
Message of the City Mayor, Honorable Jennifer V. Chang.
To our Deputy Superintendent, Agustin Sepe, and teachers, ug sa atong mga graduates, ug mga ginikanan, maayong adlaw sa inyong tanan. Pinati kong mga pinanggang mga graduates ug ginikanan ug mga teachers. Kining adlaw, anhay nagsagol ang atong mga pagbati. Pagbati sa kaguol o kalipay. Kaguol kay ang atong mga anak nga gilantaw nato nga mga gagmay pa nga mga bata, dili naman di ay bata. Ana-ana sila pako, andam nang mulupad. Kalipay kay nakahuman na sila sa ilang pag-eskwela. Ang mga oras ug adlaw nga inyong gibubo sa pagpaningkamot nga mahatag ang ilang panginahanglan na himo ra gyud. Nakaginhawa na mo og gamay, pero mangutana mo, nganong gamay raman? Timan ang atong pag-amuma sa atong mga anak wala mahuman sa ilang graduation, pero padayon gihapon sa paghatag og giya nga dili sila masalaag. Wala gayoy kahumanan ang atong pagpangga sa atong mga anak. Sa kadaghang higayon, nakita nako kung giunsa ninyo mga ginikanan. Pagkamang ang edukasyon sa inyong mga anak, walay puas nga pagpangga, walay undang nga pag-atiman. Labi pa ang sakripisyo nga gihatag ninyo sa inyong anak. O di ba po? I remember a story that I believe deserves to be retold today. The story is about the boy and the apple tree. And I would like to quote it into this way. A long time ago, there was a huge apple tree. A little boy loved to come and play around it every day. He climbed to the treetop, ate the apples, and took a nap under the shadow. He loved the tree, and the tree loved to play with him. Time went by, the little boy had grown up, and he no longer played around the tree every day. One day, the boy came back to the tree and he looked sad. "Come and play with me," the tree asked the boy. "I am no longer a kid. I do not play around the trees anymore," the boy replied. "I want toys. I need money to buy them." "Sorry, but I do not have money. But you can pick all my apples and sell them, so you will have money." The boy was so excited. He grabbed all the apples on the tree and left happily. The boy never came back after he picked the apples. The tree was sad. One day, the boy, who now turned into a man, returned, and the tree was so excited. "Come, play with me," the tree said. "I do not have time to play. I have to work for my family. We need a house for shelter. Can you help me?" said the boy. "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I do not have any house. But you can chop off my branches to build your house," said the tree. So the man cut all the branches of the tree and left happily. The tree was glad to see him happy, but the man never came back since then. The tree was again lonely and sad. One hot summer day, the man returned, and the tree was delighted. "Come and play with me," the tree said. "I am getting old. I want to go sailing to relax myself," said the boy. "Can you give me a boat?" "Use my trunk to build your boat," said the tree. "You can sail far away and be happy." So the man cut the tree trunk to make a boat. He went sailing and never showed up for a long time. Finally, the man returned after many years. "Sorry, my boy," said the tree, "but I do not have anything for you anymore. No more apples for you," the tree said. "Oh, no problem," said the man. "I do not have any teeth to bite," said the man. "No more trunk for you to climb on," said the tree. "Oh, I'm too old for that now," said the man. "I really cannot give you anything. The only thing left is my dying roots," the tree said with tears. "I do not need much now, just a place to rest. I am tired after all these years," the man replied. "Oh, good. Old tree roots are the best place to lean on and rest. Come, sit down with me and rest." The man sat down, and the tree was glad and smiled with tears. This is a story for everyone to know. The tree is like our parents. When we were young, we loved to play with our mom and dad. When we grow up, we leave them, only come to them when we need something or when we are in trouble. No matter what, parents will be there and will give everything they could just to make you happy. You may think the boy is cruel to the tree, but that is how all of us treat our parents. We take them for granted. We don't appreciate all they do for us until it's too late. Ang pag-ila sa ilang kontribusyon sa kung kinsa kamo o unsa naman gani kita, dili gayud ikalimod. Graduates, as you move to the next level of education, make sure that you know who to thank for. Your parents, your teachers, and even your classmates who made a great impact in your life. Once again, my dear graduates, make sure that you enjoy what you are doing today and make sure that you make do well in what you are doing now and everything that you have learned in your years in the elementary and high school. Be very fruitful and will make you a better person. Congratulations, graduates.
Message of the Provincial Governor, Honorable Philip T. Tuan.
To all the graduates, I sincerely congratulate all of you for having another victory in your life. And in spite of the uncertainties that we are facing today, we may not be sure of what lies ahead. We may not be sure if the skills and the lessons you have learned today are still applicable in the future. But always remember this, that everything can be learned. New things can be learned. What is permanent and what will always stand out are the values of a good Christian that your school, your church, the Bible, and your parents have taught you. I want you to dream big and aim high. and never be afraid to fail. And when you are there on top, always remember this. It's not about having lots of money, a nice car, a nice home. It's not about what you have. It's not about the titles and positions you are in, because you cannot bring it with you. It's about being able to help others. It's about what you do with what you have. It's about saving someone's life. It's all about pulling in somebody to succeed like you. It's about making a difference. It's about putting a smile in someone else's face. And when you make our Father in Heaven smile, that's where you succeed. Sa atong mga graduates, I thank you for being able to attain this victory in your life. Congratulations. Alang sa atong mga ginikanan, congratulations sa inyong tanan. Among gibati ang kalisod sa inyong giagian tungod kay kami usab usa ka ginikanan. Ato karong nasinati ang kalisod sa panahon, panbisad pantuod sa laing nahitabo nga pamaagi sa pagtuon, ilampos gihapon kita. Hinoon, ato karong nasinati ang kahiusahan sa panimalay tungod kay ang atong mga anak naaraman sa atong balay nagtuon. O nanghinaot ko nga diya sa atong panimalay na sinati sa atong mga kabatanunan ang pagbinahalay o pagtinabangay. Tungod kay human ining tanan nga sila mulampos silang pag-eskwela o sila manarbaho kada adlaw muli gihapon sa ilang tagsa-tagsa ka panimalay puhon. Ang ilang kasinatian karon sa ilang panimalay, sa inyong panimalay, mahimo usab nga dakong kahigayunan nila nga mahimong pagtulunan, giunsa nato pagdala ang atong kabatanunan, paggiya o pagdisiplina niining panahona nga magamit nila puhon sa ilang tagsa-tagsa ka panimalay. And of course, ang inyong gihatag nga pagsuporta o pagtulunan nila sa simpleng pamaagi diha sa pagkinahuray o pagkigugmaay, pagpasensyahay o pagtinabangay, mahimo kaning dakong tabang nila sa ilahang pagpamuyo puhon. Daghang salamat, and I wish you all congratulations. God bless everyone.
Message of the Misamis Occidental 2nd District Representative, Deputy Speaker Henry S. Omna.
Schools Division Superintendent Agustin Recipe, school officials and personnel of DepEd Division of Tangub City, principals, teachers, local officials, parents and guardians, our dear graduates and students, a pleasant day to all of you. I am distinctly proud to extend my warmest congratulations to all our diligent students who are now ready to embark onto a new adventure ahead. You all did great in surpassing the mounting challenges just to finish this level in your studies amid the turmoil that the country faces due to the pandemic. As such, we also celebrate this success together with your supportive parents and your hardworking teachers. You reached to this point of success together with a collective effort of a caring community who are deeply concerned in giving you a bright future ahead. According to Greek philosopher Aristotle, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. More than a year after a global declaration of the COVID-19 pandemic, we are still faced with a peculiar situation wherein momentous events in our children's lives cannot be physically shared with many of our loved ones. It is so real that is the second graduation that we do not come together to celebrate our children's victory. However, hope is starting to bloom again in our hearts. With the arrival of the vaccines in our district, I am optimistic that we will see each other again very soon. We thank the leadership of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in ensuring that we in the 2nd District of Misamis Occidental will also benefit from the influx of vaccines to the Philippines. Amidst these challenges, I am confident that we have prepared Tangub City to be resilient in facing the challenges it may encounter ahead, as the city is one of the district's reliable partner for growth and development. We have poured in 5 billion pesos, more or less, projects and programs to ensure that the needs of its people will be properly served. We have allocated 2 billion pesos worth of road concreting projects in the city, which benefited a great number of its residents in their day-to-day affairs. To name a few are the concreting of Santa Maria, Bongabong, Katagan, Kanyangan, Paiton, Simasay, barangay roads, which would connect to the municipality of Bonifacio. Also the concreting of Santa Maria, Kapalaran, Banglay, Fertig Hills Road, which will connect to our tourism project, the Gardens of the World, and the concreting of Labuyo to Ginabot Barangay roads that will connect to the Malco, Bonifacio, the Ginalaban, Paiton Road, and the concreting of Mantik, Micanaway, San Apolinario, Garang, Makilaw Road. We had also provided for the construction of multipurpose buildings in the 55 barangays of the city, the different flood control projects, and finally the water system, which will provide water for these following areas: Fertig Hills down to Barangay Kapalaran, Santa Maria, Mensobong Section, Dikatagan, Lumban, Kauswagan, Pulao water system, and the Sikot, Lorenzo Tan water system, and water system of the urban barangays. In the field of education, we made strong representation for the construction of the 65 million pesos high-standard covered court and academic buildings of GAD-TC, as well as the 150 million worth of administrative and academic buildings for Northern Mindanao School of Science and Technology. We also work hard for the construction of more than 300 million school buildings around the city, such as those located in the city central schools and that of the Tangub City National High School. All this we did for Tangub City, as development is in the top priority of this representation. The pandemic may be a gargantuan challenge for the educational community. Confronted with the reality that face-to-face classes is still not an option, the Department of Education continues to search for ways to improve distance learning with focus on technology-based programs. Our dear graduates, though your graduation is muted because of this pandemic, may this serve as a reminder to all of you that education does not end in the four walls of the classroom. Take this opportunity to observe your surroundings, to witness the purpose of your education, to transform you into a man or a woman for others. Witness how your parents, despite facing the challenge of the possibility of losing their jobs due to business closures caused by this pandemic, continue to maintain a brave face and determination to ensure that all your needs will be fulfilled as you finish your education. Witness how your teachers, despite their own personal struggles, continue to pursue excellence to ensure that the academic legacy they will leave you will aid you throughout your life. Witness the doctors and nurses who continue to give their all to their patients despite the exhaustion caused by this prolonged pandemic. Witness all the uniformed personnel who continue to fight for our nation's security, this time against an unseen threat. Witness how your leaders have sacrificed and shared in the struggle just to continue deliver the services that our community needs. Even this representation, despite the strict precautions I have taken, had acquired COVID in the course of my dealings, only to provide unhampered services to our people, no matter the attendant race I may encounter. This we did to make sure that COVID vaccines would be timely delivered in our district, that the ayuda will be distributed to every household, and that all the concerns of our people would be given attention to. Witness, therefore, all the men and women who continue to choose to prioritize others before thinking of themselves. Just for you, our youth will have a better life ahead. Indeed, this pandemic made us realize that Philippines is overflowing with selfless men and women. May this experience teach us that in everything we do, we must do it out of love, not only for ourselves, but also for others. Dear graduates, the whole nation is fighting for our survival so that you, our next generation of leaders, will be given the opportunity to change the landscape of the Philippines. I congratulate you, our dear graduates, and all the devoted men and women who stood strong behind you during these difficult times to carry you through the amazing accomplishment. A job well done. Indeed, mabuhay o daghang salamat sa inyong tanan.
For the presentation of the candidates for completion, Mrs. Marjorie P. Swanner, Grade 10 Advisor.
As Grade 10 Class Advisor, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for completion of Banglay National High School, School Year 2020-2021, of which 32 are males and 39 are females. A total of 71 candidates for completion. I hereby certify that they have satisfactorily completed all the requirements prescribed by the Bureau of Secondary Education, Department of Education, under the K-12 Basic Education Program for Junior High School Curriculum. May I request our school principal, Ma'am Beverly F. Raagas, to confirm their completion.
For the confirmation of the candidates for completion, Mrs. Beverly F. Raagas, the school principal.
By the virtue of the authority vested upon me by the school's division superintendent, Dr. Agostines ECP, and with the presentation and certification of the class advisor, that these 32 males and 39 females, a total of 71 candidates for completion of Banglay National High School, School Year 2020-2021, that they have satisfactorily completed all the requirements prescribed by the Bureau of Secondary Education, Department of Education, under the K-12 Basic Education Program for Junior High School Curriculum. I hereby confirm their completion. Congratulations!
The distribution of certificates.
These are the completers of Grade 10 Freedom. Aconia Stalin Jr. Sidini, son of Mr. Stalin Sr. and Mrs. Alicia Aconia. Aldoeza Edsel Obigeo, son of Mr. Eduardo and Mrs. Maricel Aldoeza. Almonteros Waring Tortugo, son of Mr. Danilo and Mrs. Virgie Almonteros. Damuag Vic John Paul Sabiron, son of Mr. Danny and Mrs. Bienvenida Damuag. Gulahab Mark Joel Cordova, son of Mr. Elmer and Mrs. Jovelyn Gulahab. Hilera Kenley John Kyles Del Valle, son of Miss Elmilor Del Valle Hilera. Lausa Emmanuel Risiluza, son of Mr. Samuel and Mrs. Susana Lausa. Pilarca Ralph John Alferez, son of Mr. Roel and Mrs. Raquel Pilarca. Raisonnably Dither Villaver, son of Mr. Agustin and Mrs. Antonieta Raisonnable. Relativo Aldren Kaangay, son of Mr. Danilo and Mrs. Alma Relativo. Rivera Marjon Nisherdo, son of Mr. Mario and Mrs. Villanueva Rivera. Romero Lucas Jr. Tula, son of Mr. Lucas Sr. and Mrs. Jumi Romero. Romero Regime Pinote, son of Mr. Johnny and Mrs. Rinelda Romero. Sidinio Ayanmart Alcazar, son of Mr. Arturo and Mrs. Eileen Sidinio. Villarin Rihaldren Altuheza, son of Mr. Alejandreno and Mrs. Teresa Villarin. Villaver Martin John Ortiga, son of Mr. Marcelino and Mrs. Mierna Villaver. Alayaay Jean Sambalon, daughter of Mr. Buena and Mrs. Buendanday Alayaay. Alduhesa Fimariel Cordova, daughter of Mr. Felix and Mrs. Mercedita Alduhesa. Aranas Rachel Cabaniero, daughter of Mr. Enrido and Mrs. Morita Aranas. Aranas Rhea May Abilis, daughter of Miss Carmen Aranas. Candol Giselle Paalisbo, daughter of Mr. Jarin and Mrs. Jonicel Candol. Cariaga Rovian Ugat, daughter of Mr. Ronilo and Mrs. Virgiline Cariaga. Cordova Isil Rose Nasis, daughter of Mr. Robert and Mrs. Estrella Cordova. Labrador DC Alagong, daughter of Mr. Danilo and Mrs. Emilia Labrador. Lungay Angeli Gulahap, daughter of Mr. Miguelito and Mrs. Maria Eden Lungay. Nasis Yulimi Arbolida, daughter of Mr. Eugenio and Mrs. Emily Nasis. Undin Flor de May Capapas, daughter of Mr. Rinaldo and Mrs. Marilyn Undin. Rivelleza Myris Jean Labrador, daughter of Mr. Mariano and Mrs. Nimisha Rivelleza. Rivera Vea May Desherdo, daughter of Mr. Mario and Mrs. Villanueva Rivera. Ugat Azel Rose Cariaga, daughter of Mr. Ezekiel and Mrs. Jocelyn Ugat. Ugat Ethel May Lungay, daughter of Mr. Rowell and Mrs. Agnes Ugat. Ugat Jessilu Sabiron, daughter of Mr. Cecilio and Mrs. Resibelia Ugat. Ugat Miss Jane Orot, daughter of Mr. Eliser and Mrs. Josita Ugat. Villegas Johanny Bihik, daughter of Mr. Cornelio and Mrs. Sergia Villegas. Villegas Johanna Bihik, daughter of Mr. Cornelio and Mrs. Sergia Villegas.
These are the completers of Grade 10 Infinity.
Eileen Sonorin Ivor Ryan Cordova, son of Mr. Robert and Mrs. Eileen Sonorin. Andoy Mark Joseph Catanes, son of Mr. Bobby and Mrs. Melissa Andoy. Campus Ayan Balateria, son of Mr. Sorbelio and Mrs. Alicia Campus. Caruana Jeffrey Filipino, son of Mr. Andriano and Mrs. Evelina Caruana. De Cafe Vake Alayaay, son of Mr. Vicente and Mrs. Elsa De Cafe. Dictahan Froilan Rosano, son of Mr. Solidario and Mrs. Leticia Dictahan. Labrador Arnold Carriaga, son of Mr. Pablito and Mrs. Virginia Labrador. Labrador Jacinto Carriaga, son of Mr. Pablito and Mrs. Juditha Labrador. Pilarco Gerver Carriaga, son of Mr. Johnny and Mrs. Virginia Pilarca. Salvador Christian Castillon, son of Iris Salvador. Sarona Denmark Cordova, son of Mr. Lino and Mrs. Lilani Sarona. Solon Kent Lawrence Cordova, son of Mr. Edmund and Mrs. Yonida Solon. Swanner Johnfrey Limbarok, son of Mr. Librado and Mrs. Elisa Swanner. Sueso Charles Vincent, son of Mr. Charlie and Mrs. Vicenta Suezo. Tuastumban Jordan Remolio, son of Mr. Diosdado and Mrs. Annie Tuastumban. Villegas Jennifer Mayordo, son of Mr. Jesus and Loth Villegas. Abelis Lorena Sabiron, daughter of Mr. Marciano and Mrs. Rebecca Abelis. Albarracin Mariel Karuskay, daughter of Mr. Agripino and Mrs. Lorena Albarracin. Albios Ana Pirena Phil, daughter of Mr. Anastasio and Mrs. Rosita Albios. Albon Charmin Behek, daughter of Mr. Jimmy and Tuwini Albon. Aligado Marie Kikoy, daughter of Mr. Junri and Mrs. Maribel Aligado. Aranas Annelin Saranilio, daughter of Mr. Danny and Mrs. Anastasia Aranas. Aranas Maricar Saranilio, daughter of Mr. Danny and Mrs. Anastasia Aranas. Balatoria Angelica Lascunia, daughter of Mr. Eugenio and Mrs. Rosalie Balatoria. Balatoria Arjun Lascunia, daughter of Mr. Eugenio and Mrs. Rosalie Balatera. Campos Anili Kikoy, daughter of Mr. Antonio and Mrs. Emily Campos. Cordova Shirley Jean Ochige, daughter of Mr. Roger and Mrs. Teresa Cordova. Dazu Crystal May Larano, daughter of Mr. Romulo and Mrs. Gemeline Dazu. Diaz's Geraldine Field, daughter of Mr. Robinson and Mrs. Evangeline Diaz's. Mercadero Angel May, granddaughter of Mrs. Rosa Mercadero. Ogat Almabel Piteluna, daughter of Mr. Jeffrey and Mrs. Evelyn Ogat. Ornopia Emily Pugoy, daughter of Mr. Alberto and Mrs. Marshaliza Ornopia. Pakot Charlene Alayay, daughter of Mr. Charlito and Mrs. Jocelyn Pakot. Solis Caril Gia, daughter of Nichi Solis. Sueso Grika Crisan Iginto, daughter of Mr. Charles and Mrs. Vicenta Suizo. Torino Cherel Navarez, daughter of Mr. Amilito and Mrs. Maricel Torino.
Academic Excellence Awardees. Alayaan Jean Sambalon with honors. Albius Ana Perena Phil with honors. Aldohesa Fimariel Cordova with honors. Aligado Margie Kikoy with honors. Alinsunurin Ivor Ryan Cordova with honors. Aranas Rachel Cabanyero with honors. Aranas Rhea May Abilis with honors. Campus Annalie Kikoy with honors. Candol Giselle Paalisbo with honors. Caryaga Rovian Ugat with high honors. Carwana Jeffrey Filipino with honors. Cordova Isilrose Nasis with high honors. Damwag Vic Jean Paul Sabiron with high honors. Diazis Geraldine Field with honors. Diktahan Froilan Rosano with honors. Labrador Daisy Alagong with honors. Lausa Emmanuel Risiluza with high honors. Lungay Angeli Gulahab with high honors. Mercadero Angel May with honors. Nasis Yulimi Arbolida with high honors. Ugat Almabel Pitiluna with honors. Undin Flor de May Capapas with honors. Revilleza Myris Jean Labrador with honors. Rivera Vea May Desherdo with honors. Solon Lawrence Cordova with honors. Swanner Johnfrey Limbaro with honors. Torino Chirel Navarez with honors. Ugat Azel Rose Caryaga with honors. Ugat Ethel May Lungay with honors. Ugat Jesilu Sabiron with honors. Ugat Misha Jane Orot with high honors. Villaver Markinjan Ortiga with high honors. Villegas Johanny Bihig with high honors. Villegas Johanna Bihig with high honors. Villegas Jennifer Mayordo with honors. Message of the school's division superintendent, Dr. Augustinus E. Sepe.
The pervasiveness of the COVID-19 pandemic has brought profound effects that have truly impacted all sectors of the human race. The education sector, to be specific, has been much affected. Community lockdowns and quarantines have led students and teachers to a new learning modality called the new normal, which proved to be more challenging than we thought. The theme of this year's commencement writes, Kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, highlights these challenges during this global crisis. The graduation and completion today may have denied you of the conventional ceremony. The ceremony this year also relies on the virtual platform. It may sound strange to you, having been exposed to the traditional ceremony, but you may be surprised that when you are outside the walls of the school and will try to find your niche in the society, the same environment will confront you. My dear graduates and completers, we are in the era where technology has become the backbone of almost every single endeavor in society. In your quest for life's success, you may discover that the things we call new normal is the ordinary way of life nowadays. Society has evolved years before, and you have to adjust. The pandemic has brought you a glimpse of the new society, the technology-based society, and that your experiences today might even be beneficial to you after all. Your graduation and completion is an awakening. It is a time of moving on to greater things and larger life lessons. Of nothing is promised, and tomorrow is uncertain. Never stop learning. Give nothing but your best. The journey of life brings both challenges and chances. May our dear Lord give you wisdom, direction, and protection for all the years to come. Congratulations, graduates and completers of Batch 2021!
Message of Region 10 Regional Director, Department of Education, Dr. Arturo B. Bayokot.
Isang maalab at matagumpay na araw po sa ating lahat. Mula dito sa amin sa Kagawaran ng Edukasyon sa Amihan ng Mindanao. Graduation, completion, or moving up ceremonies are testimonies of excellent coordination, genuine hard work, and great love. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck the world, hitting the various sectors including education, the Department of Education through the competent leadership of Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones, firmly accepted the challenge to continue education, bravely wrestling with the challenges of the pandemic and unceasingly finding solutions to address any emerging problems. Amidst all these difficulties, emerged excellent coordination across all levels of governance and the different stakeholders, with the teachers at the forefront of delivering the basic education learning continuity plan. And here they are, our learners, who willingly submitted themselves to blended distance learning, painstakingly learning the ways of the new learning landscape and successfully accomplishing all their academic requirements through genuine hard work. But these successes would not have been possible if not for the great love of the parents and guardians who have been selflessly offering their prayers, time, and resources. In other words, the successes of our learners, our teachers, our leaders, and the Department of Education at large, with the unwavering support of all our stakeholders, are products of our collective decision to succeed as one family. On behalf of the entire DepEd Region 10, allow me to thank and congratulate everyone for this great feat, which attests that DepEd indeed is on track. But just like what is said in our theme for this year's end of school year rights, strengthening quality education amid COVID-19 pandemic, we need to be on our toes. The COVID-19 pandemic is real, and so are other education emergencies. All together, let us rise from this pandemic, recalibrate our learning continuity plans, and continue to deliver quality education for our learners, the heart of DepEd 10. Muli, binabati ko ang lahat ng nagtapos sa taong ito. Hangad namin ang inyong patuloy na tagumpay, anumang landas ang inyong tatahakin. Pagpalain nawa kayo ng poong may kapal. Marami pong salamat.
Ladies and gentlemen, the message of the Secretary of the Department of Education, Ma'am Leonor Magtolis Briones.
Good day to each and everyone who is attending virtually present at this time of our graduation ceremonies for our beloved and very precious graduates for the school year which ends at this time. First of all, I'd like to greet the parents and family members without whose sacrifices, whose reminders, and whose participation in the learning process for our graduates have resulted in this culmination program. This year, your role has changed drastically, where we've always thought, we've always believed that the matter of educating our children rests nearly exclusively on our teachers and our staff. This time, you parents, you family members, you who are in the households of our learners have expanded your role and contributed to this wonderful day, wherein finally, our learners are graduating in this culmination exercise. So congratulations, because this year has not been very easy, has not been a picnic for our teachers, for our family members, as well, especially the parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and all who have contributed to the achievement of our learners at this time. So, maraming salamat at congratulations, parents and family members. Mas malaki ang role ninyo at this time compared to earlier graduation exercises. Secondly, I would also like to greet our teachers, without whose very careful review and careful supervision of the work of our pupils and our learners, this event would not be taking place at all. And so thank you, teachers. Your role has also expanded. In addition to seeing to it that the modules are faithfully followed, the assignments are correctly implemented, and the learners are truly learning. And you have had to deal with new ways of assessing the performance also of the learners. So congratulations, teachers, for enduring, for your patience, for your love for our learners, and your willingness to engage in a way and methods of teaching which are different from those which are used to. Assessment must have been especially difficult for you, especially since you were not able to see most of the time our students in face-to-face meetings, and most of the meetings, of course, were virtual. We'd also like to thank the local government units for their interest, for their cooperation, and for their continuing contributions to the needs of education, even as our children do not go to school. Your donations of material as well as financial resources at this time are most welcome, and your advice has been taken seriously not only by our teachers, by our school officials, but also by our officials in the Department of Education. We continually talk with local government units, especially in times of disaster, in times of great need for classrooms, for space, and for responses to unforeseen emergencies. Thank you, local government units. But of course, most of the congratulatory greetings fall on the deserving graduate. Each and every one of you is truly special. You are different from the other graduates who have passed through the portals of your school. You went to school practically without seeing your teachers, if at all. You went to school with your parents, your mothers and your fathers hovering over your shoulders and seeing to it that you are able to complete your assignments. You are completing your studies at a time when examinations and assessments are different. You are culminating these long months of hard work at this time, even as you have to do family chores, even as you are distracted, and even as your world has turned upside down, and it seems and it appears as if we don't know what the future holds and what will happen next. But you have persevered, and now you are ready to graduate. And therefore you deserve each and every bit of congratulations from us in the Department of Education, from your parents and family members, your teachers, from the officials in local government, as well as in the parent teachers associations. You deserve each and every single congratulatory pat on your back, each hug virtually, of course, and each greeting, which I am sure you are also receiving virtually. I don't know if you will remember this event many, many years from now. I have tried to recall myself who our graduation speaker was when I finished high school and when I finished my college studies. All I remember is that the graduation speaker was someone important, someone who was invited because that someone is supposed to give a message. What was more important to us graduates at that time was the excitement of the celebrations, the happiness and the joy of our parents, the sadness of parting from our classmates and from our teachers, and the enjoyment of all the graduation events that usually take place come commencement day. When I was a college student, we had a series of events which were designed to embed in our minds, which were designed to help us remember and not forget our days in college. We would spend one whole day going around the campus, visiting the classrooms, saying goodbye to our teachers, and sharing memories. We would have bonfires to say goodbye to each other. We had baccalaureate services where we committed ourselves to God and we prayed for guidance when we go out into the world. So many celebrations, and the speaker, of course, is the least important and easily forgotten component of the graduation exercise. Nonetheless, I will exert all efforts to share with you what I see are things or issues which a graduate should remember and recall. I have said that you are very special. You are very different. You are pioneering. There has been no other class like your class. There has been no other graduate like you as a graduating student, because you are the very first graduate of the blended learning response to education in the Philippines. And so you ask yourself, what awaits you in the world outside? You can either work, because the kind of curriculum you survive and underwent as a student will enable you to go to work if you wish to go to work. Some of you will proceed to further studies, and this would be a wonderful thing because there are many opportunities for further expanding your knowledge, for further answering and looking for explanations of issues, events that make you curious, especially in science, in technology, and also in the arts. So you can work, you can go to further studies, and perhaps some of you will settle down, hopefully not too soon, so you can pursue what you really want to do. So today, this is why we call this exercise a commencement exercise. It's not the end of our studies. It's not the end of all our efforts with blended learning, with modules, with floods, with earthquakes, and of course with COVID. It's a commencement of doors opening to you. More doors will be opened because you are a graduate. You can work, you can proceed for further studies, you can help your parents, and you can perhaps look for opportunities to do what you have always wanted to do, whether at work, whether at advanced studies, whether at learning more in science and technology, in mathematics, and in the arts. All of these opportunities are available to you. More doors are being opened. I hope you will select the door which arouses your curiosity, the door which will help you know more about this world, and the door which will allow you to contribute to the development of our country and contribute whatever we can to solve our problems and our challenges. Congratulations once more to each and every one of you. Congratulations to you, parents and family members. Congratulations to you, teachers. When I was chair of the board of Silliman University, each time we had graduation ceremonies during the baccalaureate and during commencement itself, I would cry. I would cry because you are sending out into the world a new batch of graduates, and we want to be sure that what is awaiting them is appropriate. We want to be sure that they are ready for what awaits them when they select which door to open. And so, we tell you, go out to the world, do whatever you want to do. God be with you, and be assured that all of us love each and every one of you. Congratulations.
To deliver her moving up speech, Angie G. Nungay with high honors.
According to Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. My due respect to our Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Agustines Isipe, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Lorena P. Serrano, Daped Personnel headed by our CID Chief, Mrs. Carmelita A. Hubay, Active City Mayor, Mayor Jennifer W. Tan, Missionary Leader in Misamis Occidental, Governor Philip T. Tan, Barangay officials, led by our Barangay Captain, Honorable Miguelito Vilungay, Supportive School Principal, Mrs. Beverly F. Agas, respected teachers, proud parents, fellow completers, to one and all in this virtual program, a wonderful day to us. It is my pleasure to be chosen to speak to you today in this virtual moving up ceremony, Banglay National High School, school year 2020 to 2021, bringing the theme Strengthening Quality Education Amidst COVID-19 Pandemic and reflect on our collective journey. This journey has been a roller coaster ride, and a lot has changed for the past few years. However, those changes that we have encountered, especially the COVID-19 pandemic, definitely help us to mold ourselves better to become independent. All of us had a roller coaster ride from week-long quarantines to distance learning, using tablets, other gadgets, for even self-learning materials and other numerous things. We did not experience those moments that requires face-to-face interaction, like doing activities, making projects, and performing a task together. But still, we are lucky enough that we have our teachers and parents who continue to support and provide education despite of this pandemic. COVID-19 is just passing by, but our learnings never end. As we go on to our different fields in our senior high school year, I hope that we will put in our hearts and in our minds that nothing can stop us to reach our dreams. Our world now has full of curiosity and confusion. People have different beliefs on how they will be safe in this time of pandemic. But as a student equipped with knowledge, I hope that we will correct and encourage them to trust the more knowledgeable others. Together, through these learnings, we will be able to change the world better. Classmates, I know that we are now ready to face the world. We have come to close this chapter of our life story, but there is still another page that we are going to open. I hope we will not just be contented with our certificates today, because there are many opportunities waiting for us, and as what they have said, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use during the day of battle, or what they so call life. I hope I have given justice to inspire you to have a common goal. And before I end, I would like to acknowledge my parents for instilling in me important knowledge and for believing in me. To my siblings, thank you for never leaving my side. To our dear mentors, you are the true heroes of today. Thank you for all the sacrifices, transcend even the barriers of distance and technology. Lastly, to our Almighty Father, thank you for another year filled with hope, faith, joy, and learning amidst global outbreak. My fellow completers, remember this quote that nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm impossible. So, congratulations to us, and let's continue the fire burning, and once again, have a good day, everyone.
Giving of certificates to outstanding honored parents.
My respect to our city officials, headed by our City Mayor, Honorable Jennifer Tan, our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Agostines ECP, our District in Charge, Mr. Eliser Piñonal, Barangay officials, headed by our Barangay Chairman, Honorable Miguelito Longay, dear parents, learners, and teachers, good day. Since March 2020, we have experienced fear, confusion, frustration, grief, anxiety, and loss due to COVID-19 pandemic. Although these uncertain times have brought challenges to everyone, it has also given us the opportunity to highlight what is truly important: family, friends, health, and our community, our school community, and beyond. It is also a year we experience slowing down. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have had the opportunity to take a pause, a deep breath, and reflect upon what is really the most important thing in our lives. It has allowed many of us to spend time with our loved ones, our children, and siblings than we have in the past years. It gives us an opportunity to take time to get to appreciate every day of our lives, our family and friends, because we will never know what happened tomorrow. I am so proud of you, class of 2020-2021. You are the chosen class to begin the change our world needs. The chance to focus on appreciation, gratitude, support, and collaboration. You are the class that began a movement that showed heightened appreciation for teachers, healthcare professionals, and all essential workers who risk their lives every day so we can stay safe and healthy. You have shown gratitude for good health, both physical and mental and social. Distance yourself from older family members for their safety, especially your grandparents. You are learning that this country and the world needs to support one another, to collaborate and advocate peacefully for social justice. As you continue on your journey to change the world, do so by acknowledging, respecting, and celebrating our differences. Always be kind and try to live with an open heart and an open mind. Take the lessons that you have learned during your time at Banglay National High School and let them guide you to inspire you and remind you that you are strong. You were a class that was resilient, tenacious, creative, talented, and resourceful. A class that began the change in our world, and they could handle everything that was thrown their way, even in a pandemic. Most importantly, always put God first in everything you do, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Always pray and give thanks to God Almighty. To the teachers, thank you for your hard work in continuing to deliver education to our learners. To our parents, you played a very important role in the success of your children, our learners, by guiding them, inspiring them, and supporting their needs to continue their studies. Congratulations to all of us, especially class of 2021. I am so proud of you all.